Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Man killed, female shopkeeper injured by gunmen in Spanish Town. A man was shot and killed while a woman was injured in a gun attack in a section of McVickers Lane in Spanish Town, St. Catherine on Monday afternoon. The deceased has been identified as 28-year-old Paul Henry of McVickers Lane. Reporters understand that about 1 p.m., Henry was in the area when he was pounced upon by armed men who shot him several times. He allegedly succumbed to his injuries at the scene. A woman who reportedly owns a shop located on McVick's Lane was later found suffering from a gunshot wound she allegedly sustained during the incident. She was assisted to hospital where she's being treated. The Spanish Town Hospital are probing the attack. Fire and bullets. Early Monday morning, when some residents of Central Kingston in an area called Spoilers were getting ready to start their day, a fire took them by surprise, cutting multiple adjoining premises on Smith Lane and James Street and leaving 23 adults and 12 children homeless. Most of those affected said it was difficult to save anything inside their homes because as soon as the fire broke out, the sounds of barking guns forced them to take cover to preserve their lives. Among the fire victims who lost all their belongings was a 72-year-old Junior Durant. "I was fixing up my place. I made myself comfortable and now the place burned down," he said, pointing to the stock of blocks he had purchased to carry out improvement to his house at 15 James Street. "Me lose my phone, ID and everything. When the fire start, I was in my house. When me come fi look, me have to take cover because too much gunshot a fire. A woman come at me gate and call me, and she did have to run from the gate because a pure shot did a blaze with the fire. And me fridge them when me draw out of the house, and because of the heat, me have to drop it. See it there, it's still burn up," Durant said, pointing to a burnt refrigerator. One woman who wasn't affected by the fire but was clearly sympathetic said she tried to help the elderly man but had to run back into her house because the sounds of bullets whistled through the air. "It was a wicked fire. Look how the tree them burn up. The fire started on a Smith Lane and spread come round here," the woman said. A teary-eyed Paulette Phillinton was in shock and disbelief. Many of the things she had worked hard to purchase, she could not make herself comfortable at home, turned to ashes. She too told reporters that when she ran outside in search of haven, she encountered the gunfire and had to take cover immediately. "It was after 4 a.m. Somebody come knock me up and say fire, and by the time I run out a pure gunshot, I may have to run in back. After that, the fire started come over more and more on my side because of pure old board. I had to take cover from gunshots. Me couldn't even save anything. This socks you see me in, that is all me have left by my foot," she said. About 7 different set of families live in this yard, and this is roughly 20 people. "I want somewhere to live right now. Me have some brand new slippers where me not even wear, like me budget sandals. I must see 2 times me wear it, and a $18,000 for it. My washing machine burn up, my gas stove burn up, my what not burn up, my dresser burn up, everything burn up. My son not even save a shoes on him foot, because when me hear the shot them, me have to run," she explained. A man who asked that his name not be used demand that something be done to put a stop to the circumstances that give rise to tragedies like one he experienced Monday. He believes the fire was deliberately set, although the Jamaica Fire Brigade is still investigating to ascertain the cause. "Them thing ya happen around here so long time, and nobody now help the community to make them stop. Nobody now step in and make it done. Them just a help down the community to make it worse and worse. People just a get burn out and a dead." According to Emilia Ebanks, Public Relations Officer of the Jamaica Fire Brigade, a call came in at 4:57 a.m. that houses on Smith Lane and James Street were on fire. "When we arrived, we saw houses on fire of 26 to 30 Smith Lane, and just behind those houses, number 15 and 17 on James Street were also on fire. 5 units in total responded to the situation. There were no injuries or death reported, and we have investigators on the scene trying to ascertain the cause of the fire. We don't have the cause of the damage yet," Ebanks told reporters. Donovan Williams, Member of Parliament for Kingston Central, later toured the scene sympathizing with residents and pledging financial and other assistance. "As an MP, my job is to assist the people and get them back on their feet. What we normally do is analyze what happened and deploy the agencies of government to assist the people," he said. In respect to the cause of the fire, that is a job for the police and fire brigade. Agriculture sector suffering major loss due to effluent spill in Royal Cobre. President of the Jamaica Agricultural Society JAS, Linford Fulton, has described the Rakobe fish kill as a major disaster for the agriculture sector. The fish kill, which resulted from an effluent spill from Wendalco last week, has affected air and water quality and livelihoods. Speaking with reporters, Mr. Fulton said, while he cannot say how much money has been lost by farmers due to the spill, the damage is significant.
The Rakobe situation has created significant setback, both for domestic water users, from the people that get their fish, their protein from the river, and for irrigation purposes. Because the people who raise animal and fish in those areas that pump water from a canal, they can't use that water. So they have to wait until the water gets better before they could use it. So those with animals will have to truck water in for their animals at significant cost. Those that use the water for irrigation certainly couldn't use that contaminated water to put on things like vegetables. They certainly couldn't put it on callaloo and okra. These are things that will absorb the residues and sick people. Sweet pepper, tomato, all these things. A lot of the farmers suffer from, sunburn of their crops, and they have lost the crop. So we are now in the field doing some damage, and very shortly all of them will get back water because the National Irrigation Commission from some of the tributaries and canals have been pumping water again. But those people down in the hill run area that depend on pumping water from the canal, that water need to clean up a little bit more before they can use it. So it's a major disaster. And the government promised, however, to give some assistance to these farmers. And as soon as the figures are in, I hope by, say, Wednesday, to the Permanent Secretary, Mr. Derman Spence, he will put the figures in perspective to the Minister, and the benefit will start to flow.
Everyone seems to agree that our 60th anniversary celebrations were a resounding success. It felt good to celebrate our Diamond Jubilee, stated Prime Minister Andrew Holness.
In our 60th year, we have embarked on a number of signature infrastructure projects that will create a lasting legacy for the next 60 years and beyond. I reflected, members, on our last celebration marking the end of a decade. And I reflected upon the legacies that we can count from that celebration. And I committed to myself that when we come to recall the 60th, we must recall it not only by the merriment of the celebrations, but by the markers, the milestones, the institutions, the edifices that we leave for future generations. So, Madam Speaker, we recently broke ground for the Montego Bay Perimeter Road project, which, along with the improvements to the Donald Sangster International Airport, will be a lasting legacy for the northwestern parishes of the island. We have started work on the Morant Bay Urban Centre, which, along with the South Coast Road Improvement Project, will leave a lasting legacy to the people of the eastern parishes. This year, we will break ground on the Resilience Park in Portmore as we prepare Portmore to become our 15th parish. We will also break ground for our Parliament building this year as an iconic symbol of our sovereignty for generations to come. We are on track with the development of our national broadband backbone to ensure that Jamaica will have the best telecommunications infrastructure in the region. on track with rolling out the largest infrastructure investment in hospital facilities in the last 6 years. I saw Minister Substance.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell.